Good morning, it's Friday the 26th of February and we thought we'd be outside because it's such a beautiful morning. In fact, I think it was a little bit frosty on the lawn, and we're sitting among the apple trees, and within about a week or so, maybe a bit longer, it'll be a lovely carpet of daffodils behind us, so maybe we'll be outside then. Which would be
And
lovely.
I was determined not to wear a coat this morning because the sun is up, but I'm now beginning to think I should have done because it's quite cold out here as well. We're reading Psalm 57 this morning, and so if you want to follow it along, do find that psalm. And it's a psalm of David where David, a group of psalms where he's on the run. It's in a period of his life when he was fleeing from Saul before, after he was anointed king, but before he was became king of Judah and Israel. And in this psalm, it's clear he's in a lot of trouble. He's under a lot of pressure. But by the end of the psalm, wondrously, he comes through to a place of freedom in worship. And there's a turning point in this psalm, which is really key in understanding the heart of David and the heart of worship. And that comes in verse 5, so do look out for that one. So we're going to read Psalm 57.
Have mercy on me, my God, have mercy on me, for in you I take refuge. I will take refuge in the shadow of your wings until the disaster has passed. I cry out to God Most High, to God who vindicates me. Excuse me. He sends from heaven and saves me, rebuking those who hotly pursue me. God sends forth his love and his faithfulness. I am in the midst of lions. I'm forced to dwell among ravenous beasts. Men whose teeth are spears and arrows, whose tongues are sharp swords.
Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth. They spread a net for my feet. I was bowed down in distress. They dug a pit in my path, but they have fallen into it themselves. My heart, O God, is steadfast. My heart is steadfast. I will sing and make music. Awake, my soul. Awake, harp and lyre. I will awaken the dawn. I will praise you, Lord, among the nations. I will sing of you among the peoples. For great is your love, reaching to the heavens. Your faithfulness reaches to the skies. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth.
I love the way it seems in verse 5 that David's perspective completely changes, and it's as though his prayer is like he's taking a breath of fresh air, and as a result something is almost awakening in him, and from this moment on he has almost like a new vision of God that changes everything and creates an amazing sense of freedom, almost like he's been released from the cave in which he's prayed, and he's allowed to sort of go out in a sense of freedom and a release.
And it's interesting the part that it shows the part that prayer and worship plays, because at this point it's not that all his troubles have been taken away from him and all his enemies have been pacified. It's just that he's now got a new preoccupation. He's not allowing those troubles to just drag him down, even though he says at one point that he was bowed in his spirit. Now, as you say, there's just a sense that he can run, he can celebrate the love, the presence, the power of God. And so there's a new sort of steadfastness in his heart.
And I love the idea that souls are being awakened. And as we watched, looking around, the first signs of spring and more to come, that sense of hope. Even if we still feel we're almost looking out of the cave, perhaps some of us further in the back of the cave, but we can look out. And while there are still challenges ahead, we can experience a sort of freshness of freedom that comes from breathing in the Spirit and receiving a new vision of God, almost like sort of looking full in his face again, and that sense of freedom.
And I know one of the reasons we sat outside here this morning in this part of the garden is that Sarah, you were saying a few days ago, in fact you were talking to one of our neighbours about the fact that there was just no sign of any daffodils. And last year, this part of the garden was just blanketed with daffodils, wasn't it? And there was not a hint of them. And then it was almost as though the daffodils had heard you, because the very next day, suddenly they all began to poke up through the grass. And you probably can't see it so clearly on the video, but I mean, even right behind us here and all across this part of the garden, it is going to be truly ablaze in probably a matter of a few days, a week?
A week.
A week,
So,
okay,
yeah.
so we might have to come back out. But there is a sense that what we see at the moment, sort of visualised around us, I mean, not only is it sort of a bit of a kind of an encouragement as we're coming further through the pandemic and signs of hope ahead of us, but also spiritually, this is what the psalm is inviting us to do, is to, just as the creation is waking up, as it feels, that actually we can pray and through our worship, God by his Spirit wakes up our souls. So that is a natural cue for a final song, which Joanne and Neil are going to sing this morning. Stay with this psalm. It's just a beautiful song about our souls coming alive and coming awake. So thank you to Joanne and Neil, and God bless you all through this weekend.
There's a sound I love to hear. It's the sound of the Saviour's robe as he walks into the room where people pray, where we hear praises, he hears faith. There's a sound I love to hear. It's the sound of the Saviour's robe as he walks into the room where people pray, where we hear worship, he hears faith.
Faith arise.
Awake my soul and sing his praise aloud. Sing his praise aloud. Awake my soul and sing his praise aloud. Sing his praise aloud. Awaken my soul, there's a sound that changes things, the sound of his people on raise. Awake up, you slumbering, it's time to worship him. Awake my soul and sing his praise aloud. Sing his praise aloud.
Come on, church.
Awake my soul and sing his praise aloud. Sing his praise aloud. And when he moves, and when we pray, we're still a wall now stands away, where every promise is amen. And when he moves, make no mistake, the boughs of hell begin to shake. Oh, hail the Lord, oh, hail the King. And when he moves, and when we pray, we're still at wall now stands away, where every promise is amen. And when he moves, make no mistake, the boughs of hell begins to shake. Oh, Sing his praise aloud. Sing his praise aloud.